just about to start filming a new car video, and then Dave goes past in his little aeroplane. Brrr. Cheers, Dave. Hey guys, welcome to a new car video. I said on Twitter and on social media, various different places, that I'd film one, so this is it. I'm not sure how I'll edit it together, so you may have already heard a startup, etc., and a couple of flybys in the car, but the car itself is a CLA45 AMG Mercedes. It's not my first Mercedes. I actually did a new car video about 2 years ago now when I got an SLK200. No, it was an SLK250, sorry, the black convertible. I actually had a car in between that and this that I intended to do a new car video on when I got it back in January. 10 months later, never got around to filming it, so decided I'd probably better do one for this car. I'll throw a couple of pictures on screen of the previous car. It was a Mercedes C350, the 3.5 litre V6 naturally aspirated two-door coupe with 4 seats. I kind of went from the SLK250 that had 2 seats and a convertible roof to 4 seats but still 2 doors, and now we've upgraded again to 4 seats and 4 doors, and another improvement in performance. So we come up to a nice lay-by in the middle of nowhere, really, just because it's quiet, or quiet enough. And you will have seen pictures of it on social media, but there it is in the flesh. It's, like I say, CLA45 AMG. It has been debadged on the side and on the back. You will be able to tell when we get around the back. You can't quite tell, at least I can't see on my phone screen, whether you can actually tell the colour of it from this angle. The sun is quite low because it's late in the afternoon. I apologise for that. But it is actually a rather beautiful shade of purple. The grille at the front has been blacked out, as you can see there. And if I could just catch it with the sun, I'm probably the wrong side actually. Let me get my shadow the other side of me. So you can kind of tell there, it's kind of a deep midnight purple colour with the black or gloss black 19-inch AMG alloys, ventilated steel brakes on front and rear. It actually takes the same tyres on the front and the back because it's 4-wheel drive. The previous 2 Mercedes that I owned were both rear-wheel drive, but this one is predominantly front-wheel, 90% of the time, front-wheel drive, but in the need of it, it can send up to 50% of the power to the rear tyres. So I'm running on Pirelli P0s, as you can see there. And if I come around the back, just to give you a quick walk around of the entire car, you can see it has been debadged at the back. It would ordinarily say CLA45 there with the AMG badge there, and actually on the front wing, just by the front tyre there, it would say Turbo AMG. So I bought it debadged. I haven't debadged it myself. I am contemplating putting the badges back on it. You'll have to let me know in the comment section whether you think it would look better with the badges or without. I'd get them done in the gloss black, similarly to the Mercedes badge there and the grille on the front, so I wouldn't get the silver ones. I would get it debadged, but it does look beautiful. I love the colour. There were 100 on Auto Trader when I was looking, and they were all white, silver, grey or black. This was the only purple in the entire country that was available for sale at that particular moment in time. So I'm actually thrilled to have been able to pick up the purple one. I saw it on Auto Trader and was like, you know what, I kind of really want that. So I decided to go out and pick it up. I traded in my old C350, and the company I bought it from, or the garage that I bought it from, dealer I bought it from, they kind of settled my previous finance package and then obviously lumped that on top of the finance that I needed to pick up this car. I didn't buy it outright, as is the, well, I guess the sensible thing to do financially these days. I have got it on finance. It was 29,500, I think, by the time they'd added on the settlement figure from my previous Mercedes, and I'm of course borrowing over 5 years, so it's £578 a month over 60 months. I know people get a little bit awkward when they talk about finances and number figures for cars, but I'm quite open about that sort of thing. So it's expensive, but the performance is worth it as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very, very pleased with it. I haven't driven it too much yet. I've done about 800 or 900 miles so far. I've owned it for about 10 days. Has got the privacy glass on the back windows and the rear window as well, but I'm particularly pleased with it. I've kind of got a little bit of a Mercedes addiction, it seems. I wasn't sure whether to get something like this or an RS6, because I know they're very, very popular, and of course performance is superb on those as well. But I don't know, I kind of really like the interior on the Mercedes. And actually, speaking of the interior, let's swoop round and have a look inside. Swooping around the side then to have a quick look in the cabin. It's been washed on the outside. I haven't had it cleaned on the inside yet, so I apologise if it's a little bit dirty, but it's the Alcantara seats. They're bucket seats, of course, because it's the AMG Performance version of the car. You can see the AMG badge in there. It's got the red stitching on the seats, the red seat belts, so it's really, really nice inside. The Alcantara is on the door insides as well, and of course on the seats with the red stitched leather. Let me actually just quickly get in so you can see the view that I see. And yeah, it's actually got the upgraded command online system. There are two versions. This is actually an upgradable option. The smaller screen actually has an outline of about that much. So it's an 8-inch screen, I believe. I think. Let me actually. Is the key still in there? It's not. Let me find the key. So as you can see it load up here, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so the navigation system will basically be blank. So you can see the navigation system pretty much says you aren't anywhere. I'm at Mill Hill, wherever Mill Hill is, but I do really like the brushed interior, or brushed metal, sorry, on the interior in the Mercedes. I didn't necessarily have as much brushed metal on the inside of the C350 or the SLK, but it's even nicer in here. It's just a nice place to be. Of course, you've got the radio and the Bluetooth, etc. My phone links up to the car, as is the way with the majority of modern cars these days. But I just prefer the interior in the Mercedes more so than Audis or BMWs. So I do have a bit of a Mercedes addiction. But the plan is, and you have to hold me to this, I am now not allowed to upgrade my car for a considerable period of time. I've had the SLK, the C350, and now this in the space of 3 years, or space of 2 years even. So the plan is, now that I've got 4 seats, 4 doors, and the performance, I won't be upgrading this car for a considerable period of time. The plan is now mortgage deposit, and you have to hold me to that. But speaking of the performance in this one, upgraded from the C350, let's have a quick look under the hood, under the bonnet, and I'll show you what's going on under there. To the front, engine's still running. There is a little yellow rubbery clip just under here. With my right hand I can reach in and feel it here, as he says. Go on, engine cover, come up please. There we go. And unfortunately, unlike the previous 2 Mercedes I bought, it doesn't have hydraulic struts for the bonnet, so we've got the old school stick. But of course, with it being the top of the line AMG, the engine is actually hand built at AMG at a Felterback. This one particularly handcrafted by Nico Kruger. So thank you, Nico, for creating my engine. As I mentioned previously, the C350 was a 3.5 litre naturally aspirated V6. This is actually only a 4-cylinder engine, and it is a 2 litre turbo. But despite being 1.5 litres smaller in capacity and 2 cylinders less than the previous car, the C350 had 301 brake horsepower, as previously mentioned, rear-wheel drive. This actually has 360 brake horsepower, 4-wheel drive, as we mentioned, predominantly front wheel, but when needed, up to 50% to the rear, and it is particularly quick and grips like nothing I've ever driven before in my life. The rear-wheel drive cars that I owned previously were good to a point, and then the back end would tend to step on you if you got a little bit too close to the limit. But this, I could take the same corner about 10 to 15 miles an hour faster, and it would just grip. It would just hold the road, and you feel your face start to slide off towards your ears. It is unbelievable, the performance in this car. It's the fastest car I've ever owned. It's the best performing car I've ever owned. It's 0 to 62 of 4.6. That's 0 to 62 miles an hour plus 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 4.6 seconds. I haven't yet tested that. It does have launch control, but I wanted to kind of get the car, or get used to the car, before I started trying out features like that, or really pushing you know, limits on the public roads. Obviously, with it being public roads, I can't push as many limits as I might like to. I would consider taking it to a track day, but obviously I'd have to get the relevant insurance and the tyres, and want to be comfortable in the car before I did something like that. But I'm just extremely happy with it. Hopefully you guys like the look of it as well. Like I say, it does look black in certain light, and then when the sun captures it, you can really see the purple start to pop. And I like that. I like the fact it's kind of stealth and goes undetected. It's not like my previous one that was bright white and kind of stands out with the black wheels. So I really like it because it's debadged as well. This is where the conundrum comes in. If it had badges on it, then people would be like, oh look, there's a CLA45. But because it doesn't have the badges on it, I've been driving on the motorway and have people look over, they can hear the exhaust, etc. And they look at it and you can see them questioning it. It's like, is that a CLA45? Is that the top of the line AMG model? Or is that just someone that's put the AMG parts on the base model? But it is definitely a CLA45, believe me. And well, I'm genuinely absolutely thrilled with it. Thank you guys. I have to do the stereotypical YouTuber thing, which is as heartfelt as ever. Thank you for putting me in the position to be able to afford and own a car of this quality. With my health, of course, those of you that are newer to the channel won't know. If you search my channel for the My Health videos, you'll be able to know the full background. It took me an hour to explain it, so I won't do it here. But my life wasn't really going anywhere about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was on health benefits, etc., and was doing YouTube as a hobby and didn't really have any sort of future in life. And by you guys' consistent support over the past 4 to 5 years, you completely turned my life around. I have the car of my dreams. I'm renting my own place, have my own house. And to be honest, life has never been better. So I owe that entirely to you guys and your support. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to leave it here. I'm not going to keep you too long. I'm not sure how long this will be once it's all edited together. I don't really want to leave the car just sat there running for a while in the cold. So I'm going to go and turn it off, and we'll get some tracking shots actually. That you may have already seen those by this point. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Do drop the video a like if you enjoy. Let me know in the comment section down below what car you drive actually. I'm very curious to know what cars you guys are driving that watch me. So let me know down below what you're driving on your driveway. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for everything you've done for me over the past few years. Drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any more FIFA content. I might do more car content if you'd be interested in seeing it, although I'm not really too sure what I could put together. But if I do like go on a track day or something, I'd probably vlog it or something like that, if you might like to see it. But I mentioned I was going to go, and that was a minute ago, so I am now going to go. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.